All right, Ani, and welcome to Post-Secondary Orientation Workshop. Today's workshop is on bursaries and scholarships. And in today's presentation, we will be going over the bursary, the difference between a bursary and a scholarship, and where you can find bursary and scholarships online, and additional information for future reference. So, begin. What are scholarships and bursaries? Well, according to the CPA Martin Mentorship Program for Indigenous high school students, a quick guide to post-secondary scholarships and bursaries in Canada, scholarships and bursaries are financial awards that are given to students that do not need to be repaid. Bursaries are provided to students in financial need, and scholarships are awarded based on specific criteria, such as high grades, individual life journey, innovative projects, or career goals. So bursary is an award given to a student based on financial needs as well as academic achievement. And a scholarship is awarded to a student based on high excellence in their studies or programs that they are attending. So when a committee is reviewing an application, there are many factors that are considered. One of them being financial needs, academic achievement, community involvement, athletic achievement, regional requirements, specific field of student, student essays or contests, and other special abilities or circumstance. Now, these are just like some of the things that a committee reviews when they're looking at your application. The most important factor that they look at is the financial need of the student as well as the academic achievement. And sometimes a specific field of student that could be like a person going into nursing programs. So there are certain criteria that a bursary application award may have when you're applying. So going on to the next, what bursaries and scholarships are available to you? Well, there's the WBE post-secondary resource links. We'll get to that in a bit. The WBE awards that are awarded to continuing students. The big three, which is Inspire, NIB Trust, RBC Indigenous Student Award Program. We also have your institution, Indigenous Bursary Search Tool, Scholarships Canada, and OASP. So first off, we're going to introduce you to the WBE post-secondary webpage. Now, when you go into a WBE webpage, you're going to go to departments, and we are the first department in the drop-down menu. So you're going to click on the post-secondary student support services. Then when you get there, you're going to see the main page here. And when you head to the main page, on your right, there should be resources in between FAQs and contacts. In this picture, I had highlighted it yellow. And then when you click onto the resource link, you're going to see all kinds of links that can help you while you're out and about in the post-secondary world to help you gather information that you may need to refer to later on. We also have the scholarship links here. So when you hit the scholarship links, you're going to see a list of bursary and scholarships that are available to you as an Indigenous student, and also just something that you can refer to later on. Okay. So the big three is Inspire, NIB Trust, and RBC Indigenous Student Award Program. I included the links in this presentation, so you can click on them to refer to them or write them down, screenshot them for future reference. So with Inspire, you only have to apply once to this. There is a bursary for that every academic year. The application for that opens in May, and the deadlines for that Inspire bursary is August 1st, November 1st, February 1st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you only have to apply once every year for that. And your name will be going into all the scholarships, awards, and bursaries that Inspire has. But remember, you have to apply every year, just once every year, if that makes sense. The NIB Trust, their preference for applicants is the residential school students, but is not limited to residential school students only. Anybody who's Indigenous and 18 years or older can apply for the NIB Trust. Their deadline is June, and their applications open in April. So check back on their website to see when the application opened, because last time I checked, I think they were still updating the website. And then the RBC Indigenous Student Award Program. For that one, the eligibility for that is any registered Native that is a Canadian resident and is going to an accredited post-secondary institution can apply for that RBC Indigenous Student Award. The application date for that was, deadline for that was January 5th, 2022. But that was last week I checked that. So remember to check back on their website because they could have updated that application deadline. Okay, next we're going to talk about your institution. That is the most easiest place you could probably look for a bursary and scholarship regards to you. You can look at their financial aid section, their student services section. You could also look into your student portal. Cambrian, for example, has, when you log into their student portal, you're going to look on the left side and there's like a student tab. You're going to click on that student tab and then you're going to scroll down and you're going to see a window that says scholarships and bursaries FAQ. You can click on there and I'm sure they will have a list of bursaries available to you. And when you go into your student portal, remember to self-identify as an Indigenous student. The reason being is that when you self-identify, the chances of you getting bursaries is a lot higher. And also you'll be put onto the school's mailing list, specifically with the student Indigenous Student Center, and they will send you updates and notification of what's going on in their student center, where, for example, like Algonquin College, they will notify you of like luncheons that are going on, workshops like moccasin making workshop. And it's great to like network with some of the Indigenous students there as well. You can meet all kinds of people, and there's also an elder in-house. So if you needed to speak to an elder, they're there for you as well. All right. There's also the Indigenous Bursaries search tool. So that's a search engine that you can go look for all kinds of Indigenous bursaries available to you. You can either search by keywords, like, for example, electrical engineering. You can put in there, and I'm sure like a list of like bursaries and scholarships are going to pop up for that. Or it could be more local, like location specifically. You can look across Canada, or you can look in Ontario, or wherever you plan on going to school. You can look in your field of study, whatever that may be, and you can identify it with, as all Aboriginal groups or First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. You can be very specific or very broad, however you want to look for these scholarships and bursaries available. You can also go to Scholarships Canada, and with that, you're going to build a profile. And when you build a profile in there, you have the option to look across Canada, or you can actually look into your institution. That's another easier way to look into your institution as well, to see what other bursaries are available to you. And with Scholarships Canada, when you sign up with them, they'll send you updates, notifications as the bursaries that are pertaining to specifically to you and your program. Okay, that's another way to look for scholarship or bursaries. Next, we have OSAP. And with OSAP, you can apply for the grant portion only. You don't have to apply for the whole loan. That's totally up to you, but you also could just apply for the grant portion only. But with that, there's stipulations, rules regarding and how you can only apply for that grant portion. So you have to be successful in your academic studies, meaning like they might have, like you maintain a GPA average of 3.0 or something like that. And if you do not, if you're unsuccessful in maintaining eligibility for the grant, it will become a loan. So it will become a repayment that you have to make on your end to the government. So just be very careful about that. If you seek assistance with filling out your OSAP application, you can see the financial aid in your institution. Go to the financial aid officer and see if they can help you with setting up your application. Or you can go online and do it yourself too. That's another easier, faster way to set up an OSAP profile. Okay. So this is just some additional information and reference for future. There are some scholarships, bursaries, and awards that will have stipulation and restriction, as I have mentioned in the OSAP, because some bursaries will have some rules and regarding like how you apply. Like, for example, I know there's a bursary out there that will give you money for tuition, program fees, like supplies and materials that you may need, but they don't want you putting that award to repay loans and debts. They want you to put that money towards schooling. But it is like every award bursary is different. And then for grants, bursaries, and scholarship and awards, you do not have to pay back, but you may need to show appreciation. We'll use Inspired as an example. For them, they require you write a thank you letter. So you could show the sponsors who funded you through your scholar or your schooling to show them that you really appreciate that they gave you the money to be able to be a successful student. And for some bursaries, you may get T4A slips. Not all bursaries will do that, but for some, for tax purposes, just for future ones, keep that in mind. When receiving PSSP living allowance, you can receive bursaries, scholarships, and awards, meaning that you don't have to claim that back with us. Like whatever award you win, you can just put that towards your schooling or put it in your pocket for like rent, food, school supplies, etc. However, there are outside organizations that may require you to claim PSSP allowance, which may affect your funding with them. We'll use OW, for example, like if you claim that you're getting money from PSSP, like post-secondary student support program, they may not give you all the funds. They will be like, okay, well, you know what, you are claiming with PSSP, we're not going to give you all the funds that we said that we would give to you. So yeah, it affects your funding with them. Education allowances, scholarships provided by PSSP is not considered an income. Therefore, you will not receive a T4 slip from WBE post-secondary. So don't worry about getting a T4 slip for us because we do not issue those. So for tax purposes and reasons, you won't have to worry about that. However, you can claim your tuition, which can be obtained from the institution which you are currently attending. So you can ask them for like a tax slip. I think if you go into your student portal, there should be somewhere in there that you could find your taxes. And last but not least, Google. If you are having a hard time looking for bursaries or scholarships to apply, just Google it. There's a lot of information that you could find through Google, and you could be as specific or as broad as you'd like. And also just put in the work, just a reminder to, it doesn't matter like if you don't think that you're going to get that bursary or not, it's always best to just put your application out there. Do the work to fill out those applications. Remember to write down deadlines for the applications and bursaries that you're looking to apply to. Any bursary that you think you're interested in, always put a deadline date on when those are due, so that you do not forget. And do the research, check and see what is required, what the eligibility criteria is on that, and what the rules are on the awards as well. Well, thank you for joining us, and we're really happy to see you here today, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If there's any questions that you have, you may ask us right now, and if not, well, we're happy that you came out and viewed as much as you can.
Before you stop recording, Katie, I had a question just for clarity for the students watching the video. You had an NIB Trust scholarship listed. Can you just explain what the NIB is for? The other one, RBC, is pretty clear. It's the Royal Bank of Canada. But
yeah, so the NIB Trust Fund allocates funds in accordance with the Indian Residential School Settlement Agreement. It provides compensation to survivors for those experiences at residential schools. So it's grounded in preservation and revitalization of First Nations language, culture, and way of life. The NRB Trust Fund provides resourcing to create meaningful opportunities that improve the quality of life for First Nations. So I know they said that their preference was residential school students, but it is not limited to residential school students only. Like anybody who is a registered Native and is 18 years or older can apply for that fund.
awesome.
So yeah.
Thank you. Also, just to make you aware, for any students that might be attending university, you can go onto the Ontario University Application Center website, and they have a section specifically for Indigenous students. I don't know if OCAS has something similar, but on the OUAC site, it actually breaks down everything. It has resources on there for you. It's ouac.on.ca. So if you're attending university, you want to check it out, just go under, I think it's under resources and Indigenous applicants. So you might want to check that out. And as we also have an other resources section on our webpage. There's resources and it'll list scholarships and everything like that, but there's an other resources section, and that's where you can find that OUAC website. I think that's all I wanted to say, but please apply for scholarships and bursaries. I always like to share this little story I have with a student of mine from previous years. He just applied for everything. He applied for any bursary that he could find. There was even one directed specifically to females, but he ended up getting it because of his applies. He ended up collecting about $15,000 in scholarships and bursaries because he applied to everything. And I know a lot of them will ask you for an essay, so maybe just type up a generic essay that you can use for all these different scholarships and bursaries. You don't have to necessarily start from scratch, but just pay attention to what they're asking you to talk about in your essay. But anyway, it's really worth the money because I don't think a lot of people take advantage of these. So just apply to anything and everything, and you never know. Anyway, I want to thank you for your presentation, Katie. Montana, did you have any questions? If so, you can always put it in the chat as well. Okay, no questions. All right. So with that, we'll wrap it up. And I believe Montana will be the recipient of our monthly door prize. So congratulations, Montana.
Congratulations, yeah.
And thank you for attending. Miigwech.